Hey everyone, it's Robin. Welcome to my desk. Tonight I thought that I would share with you my Traveler's Notebook collection. There's not a whole lot of them, maybe more than I need, but it's not as extensive as some other people's collections. It's not fancy because if you've been with me for a while, you know that I kind of compartmentalize notebooks and plant and covers around interests, or like each book kind of has a purpose. That's how my brain likes to work. I haven't had much success putting everything in one place. I had one for work, I have one for home, I have one for planning, I have one for inks, I have one for pens, yada yada yada. Pardon me. I have really bad allergies right now. I don't know if anyone else is suffering from seasonal allergies. It's horrible. So anyways, I have some traveler's notebooks that have purposes, and I have some that are empty, and I have turned or opened a new hobby, can of worms, a new old hobby. I've started again sewing with a sewing machine, and I am in the need of putting together a book to do some research and some note taking. For those of you that like pens and stationery and notebooks, the front part of this video will be primarily about that. And then making some choices, what I'm going to use, and maybe putting some things together for my new hobby. And then I'll tell you a little bit about why I have to have a notebook specifically for this hobby and what the hobby is. What am I up to? I'll tell you, but you guys stick around. So I'm going to move this pile of notebooks off to the side for just a moment. And we'll start with looking at the leather covers that I have. All of these are Traveler's notebooks from Traveler's Company. And I've got 4 of the standard size and 2 of the pocket size. And this is the extent of my collection. I don't foresee it growing any. I already have, I feel, too many of the standard sizes, but I'll keep them because I kind of like all of the covers for different reasons, even though you see some repeats. I know. So let's do the little pocket guys first. This one's empty at the moment. I had in it some art information, watercoloring and art supplies that I thought that I would bring with me so that I didn't repurchase things when I went to the art store, and I never brought it with me. So I've taken that apart, and it is an empty cover, but this one is the olive green. So it's the newest one that they've released. It's a newer Traveler's Notebook. And I don't think that the pocket size is going to work for my project, so I'm just going to take this and put it off to the side. Not a contender. The first Traveler's Notebook that I bought was this one, and I think I got it from Amazon. It is my favorite out of all of these because even though both of these are blue, this one is just such a gorgeous teal blue that I'm smitten with it. And I keep hoping that this one maybe will turn to this teal blue color. Then this one could be my favorite standard sized one, but it hasn't yet. I mean, because I haven't used it. Maybe I just start using it and it would turn teal. I don't know. But this one I have used as a wallet, and I moved out of it because I was using a smaller pocketbook. But I'm keeping it the way that it is because I foresee that I will go back to using this as a wallet, and I like it. I like it for that purpose. So I'm going to set that off to the side. Again, too small for the project that I have in mind. So here are the 4 remaining choices for my project. Both of these are olive colored Traveler's Notebooks. They are both the first release of the olive color. They're not the newest release. These were both purchased secondhand from Facebook groups. One of them is almost new. It has no pockets, no stamping or embossing on it. It's just plain. This one was the first one that I found in the olive color, and it came to me with sticker pockets in it already, and I don't have the courage to remove them for fear of having that residue underneath, so they're just going to stay put. And it's currently got like my stationery and art supply thinking, purchasing, things that I put on my wish list, kind of a monthly spending tracker, when I'm playing with setting up my inks and my pens, all of that goes in this notebook. So this one's got a purpose and it's working. So that one's going to go out of the contender list. This one I also bought pre-loved from a Facebook group. This is a very old one, relatively speaking, for traveler's notebooks. This is a Midori. It's made in Thailand is how it's stamped. So I think it's one of the first ones that were released. It's the brown color and it's super soft and it's got patina around the edges. So I really like it. This one, the purpose of it is for house projects and house searching. So kind of getting our house ready to sell and our search for a new house, all the projects. So this one's got a purpose, and so that one's out of the contender list too. So that brings us to our last two. This is a blue, this is olive, like I said, and this is really beautiful on the inside. It's really a nice green color, so I do like that one. This is the blue, and it's got the lovely teal. I should check. I wonder. Yep. So maybe if I keep using it, it will turn more to the teal color. So I think you guys, I've made up my mind between the two empty Traveler's Notebook covers that I have. I think I'm leaning towards this one, and I think that I will keep the teal green cord on it. So I think that it's ready to go. So that's my little collection of Traveler notebooks. I've tried these pen loop things. I hate them. I don't know how you guys feel about them. So I don't mind not having a pen like involved with my planner. I think that my way of coping with that was to get one of these. This is from Galen Leather. It's a Galen Leather insert, and it's got the pen loop in it, so that kind of works for my wallet to have a little pen in there. But I do not want to get a large one of those. I don't use this orange one at all. Have not found a purpose for it because most of these are stay on my desk items, so I don't have a need to pack the pockets with things. So I'm not thinking of putting anything like that in here just yet. If a purpose arises for it, then certainly I will add something like that. So this is going to be the notebook that I think I'm going to choose for the new project that I'm working on. I've decided to start sewing again. Long story short, my husband and I were in Joann Fabrics, and lo and behold, one of my very favorite fabric company / patterns ever was there on a bolt. And here it is. This is from Liberty London. Sorry, I don't have the name of the fabric. I can't think of it. I'll if you're curious to know, ask in the comments and I will absolutely answer you. I'll look it up and answer you. But this is I just think that this is beautiful, and I decided that I would make myself a top out of it. And I decided that I wanted to make a top that I currently own that I love out of this material, which meant that I needed to learn how to make a pattern from a garment that I currently own, make pattern pieces, and then sew a garment without a pattern. And none of this scares me. I think that I can do all of that, but I absolutely need to consult some people who know a heck of a lot more about sewing than I do to get it right, to get the steps right. And I'm most worried about like the order of putting the pieces back together again. I hear my husband creeping in the kitchen. He's trying to be quiet. I appreciate that. Of course, I always film when he's needing to do something in the kitchen. So anyways, I was saying, so I need something to archive, like pattern, maybe pattern pieces. So I'm thinking a grid notebook would be nice to have for planning and sketching things if I need to do that, and then certainly some writing. So I'm leaning towards a grid notebook for starters, and maybe a blank page one. That one has something in it. So I have a plain lined notebook. I think I've got, oh, this is just plain paper. Ah, woohoo. And then there's always the option of putting the grid behind there, but I don't really lean towards that. This is a pocket card file. I don't have need for that. I don't think I have need for files or pockets. Pardon me, or pocket stickers. I don't need a calendar. I have this guy. I have, oh, here's a grid notebook. This is the nice paper notebook. I really enjoy writing in these, but I don't think that I need something this nice for my sewing notebook. And then these two are blank. I had decorated the covers before. Oh, and this is a grid one too. I could absolutely pull. Ah, see how I am? I like Tomoe River paper. I like grid paper, so I took one of the A5 notebooks and chopped it to fit that size. I know I have more of these. Do I want to just go ahead and use this? All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this one and this one. Yep, this is just the plain, it's not the really thin paper, it's a plain white paper and the grid notebook. And I think, not the lined, I don't like these lined notebooks because the lines are too big. Yep, not a fan, sorry to say. Paper's probably lovely. And this one, I don't know what kind of a notebook this is. This is cute because he's got a little apron on, like he's gonna make something. Oh, this is a craft paper one. All right, these are the three that I think I'm going to start off with, and then as I start writing and using them, put all the other ones off to the side. As I start writing in them and using them, I know I can get more of the craft paper, and I kind of like just regular thickness. I don't know if I'm trying to think through whether I would want to have white paper to draw color on. Like, will I have a need for color coding that this would be hard to work with? The white paper is kind of intimidating to me right now. I just feel like I've never used craft paper. I'm gonna try the craft paper. We'll try the bear and the craft paper, and then we'll have the grid notebook with it with the Tomoe River paper on it, and maybe I'll do some decorating or something on that. And I think that we'll go ahead and put these on a, what do I have? I don't know if I have a string to put the notebooks together. Do I have one over here? Oh no, yep, yes I do. Okay, hang on. I am contemplating, I know that I'm not enjoying as much as I used to my A6 art journal. I think I've just kind of grown out of it. Maybe my life is just not, I wouldn't say not interesting enough, because that's not true, but I feel like putting something artistic or drawing something or on every single page of the A6 Hobonichi is just beyond what I'm interested in doing right now. And I've been feeling that way for a good, since maybe May. So I've been contemplating moving my kind of my memory keeping, artistic memory keeping into a traveler's notebook. For the sake of just having a week. I was thinking of using one of these vertical weekly layouts and using it like artistically if something happens, not worrying about the columns and just kind of archiving it with a date and on the week. But I don't know, I guess it's new and it doesn't feel comfortable to me, so maybe I'll start playing with that before the beginning of the year. But anyways, that's not what this is about. So, what I need to do is I need to start taking some notes. I think, you know what, I think I might just add this blank page. I know that all of these things will fit in here anyways. Yeah, I might trade these around a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to put this in here so that I have an option, and then when I go to write in it, I'm sure one of them will stand out to me as like that works a little bit better. I might have to reattach these in a different way. In fact, I know I will, because that'll drive me nuts. We're going to start with the 3 notebooks in here. And so I am on an adventure. I have this fabric and pardon the stall. I also am going to make a shirt out of this fabric, and I think this is inside out at the moment. Green and teal are my absolute favorite colors, and this one has little foxes on it. I don't know if you can see the little foxes all over it. I thought that this was just adorable. I'm not much for like picture print things. I kind of like graphic prints, and ironically I'm not much of a flower person either, so both of these fabrics are like question markable to me. This is the one that I'm going to start with. This was a less expensive fabric, and so my first try is going to be using this one, making the shirt from scratch. I bought I have a shirt, or I'm losing my mind here. Okay, I have a favorite shirt. It's a top that I got from Madewell. It's a popover button down with buttons on the side, and it's the most comfortable shirt that I've owned in my lifetime. I just love it. And when I saw this fabric at Joann's, I said to myself, I want to make the shirt that I already have out of this fabric. And I knew that that would involve like making pattern pieces from an already made garment. And I decided that I was going to do it. I was just going to figure out how to do it, and I was going to do it. Tried searching for patterns, and patterns never turn out the way that you want them to. So I figured I was just better copying something that I currently had in my wardrobe that I loved. Then I kind of got cold feet about it, and I decided, you know what? This was a top by Madewell. There's got to be more of them on eBay or on Mercari or on Poshmark. So I found a second shirt of mine in a different pattern, and I purchased it. It was very inexpensive, and I got it home and I took it apart. I deconstructed all of the pieces with a seam ripper so that I had all of the pattern pieces. And then today I just finished cutting out all of the pieces, tracing and cutting out and making actual pattern pieces. Hang on. Sorry. I guess I should have had these things a little bit more handy, but here's the shirt that I pulled apart, and you can see that it's got like individual pieces, and I marked what they were. This was a labor of love for sure. This is the top that I'm recreating, and I know that you can't see it very well from there, and I'm not in a not set up to turn the camera around to show you the whole thing, but I could show you. Maybe I'll see if I can find a screenshot of this shirt. So I cut out all the pieces, and then this is just a small pile of all the pattern pieces. I got the paper, pattern paper, to put on the pieces and trace and make the pattern pieces. And the next step will be to put this on this fabric, pin it, and then cut out the pieces and start sewing them together. So there's that. That is my current project away from pens and inks, other than to use some of the pens and inks and paper and leather products that I love to make a new notebook for all of this that I'm doing. And it already came to mind that I'm going to keep all 3 of these notebooks in here. This will be for maybe I'll end up ripping out these pages and taping them into the book when and if I need some grid paper. But the other thing that goes with this whole sewing project that I've got going on is my husband said to me, because he was with me when I purchased this, and he absolutely is so supportive of the things that I do and my hobbies, and I totally appreciate that about him. But he said, maybe you should get a new sewing machine. The sewing machine that I have, it works okay. My mom bought it for me when I was in junior high, I think. So it's a 1960s, 1970s old Viking Husqvarna machine. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I hadn't contemplated a new sewing machine or an upgrade or an update of some kind. And so, of course, when I was going back to Joann to pick up notions or different things that I needed, I swung by the Viking Husqvarna desk where they sell the sewing machines, and I was walking around, and I knew that I did not want a sewing machine that had all of the electronic components to it. If I ever did quilting, I don't need to embroider. I don't need the fancy stitches. I need something that goes forwards, backwards, and zigzags. And when you can zigzag and go forwards and backwards, you can make buttonholes. And you can also get attachments for sewing machines to do that. That's all I need. And the bonus thing is, when we do have projects that we feel like we need to pull out a sewing machine for, they are things like dog beds or curtains or mending jeans or doing some kind of heavier fabric sewing. And my little Viking, although it's a trooper, it's tried, it just can't handle the thicker fabrics. So I was looking for something that had a really powerful motor, and that's what kept me interested in staying with Viking Husqvarna, because I know that they're pretty good. They were pretty good sewing machines. I don't know what the current status of the new ones are. I didn't do that research, because the entry-level machines for Vikings are $400 or $500 for the basic machine that's got a steel inside and everything on the outside is plastic. So I went home and I told my husband about those machines, and I said, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I would want. And I started thinking about getting a vintage sewing machine that was not plastic. And I started looking on Mercari and eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and I found 2 vintage Viking Husqvarna sewing machines. And one is it's called a quilter's dream machine, because it only straight stitches, but it will straight stitch through leather. I've seen somebody on YouTube go through multiple levels of like upholstery fabric with it, and um, different types of leather that have been treated, and it just goes right through. And I thought, boy, that would be nice. And then after I got that one for a really great price on Facebook Marketplace, I started having regrets about not having the zigzag element to it. I'm like, how am I going to make buttonholes? I need to make buttonholes for this top. So it was either find all of the attachments to go with the machine, if they even make them for a 1950s slash 60s sewing machine, to put a zigzag attachment and a buttonholer on it, or I picked up a second one for an excellent price. And the second one that I got is the one that will be my heart machine. It will be the one that I'm using for my projects. I have pulled it apart. I have taken everything out of this, all the pieces of the sewing machine apart, to clean it thoroughly inside and outside, and pull all the dust bunnies out of it, and check the belts and all the wiring and all the components. And then I put it back together again. My hands were, and still are to some degree, full of machine grease. But what a joy to have my hands on something old and solid, a machine that I can fix. The only hard part is finding parts for them. It's possible. Some parts are really hard to find, and others they keep making for the older machines too. But yeah, let me see. I don't have the lighting in this room to pull up my camera and show you my sewing machine. It's one of the old machines that's about this color. It's a yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a thing of beauty, and I feel so blessed to have found it. The gentleman that sold it to me said that it was his mother's, and there were a few cosmetic issues with it, and he wanted to sell it with a sewing cabinet table, and I have absolutely no desire to have one of those sewing tables. I don't have the space for it, because that would take up room, and it's not enough room in my opinion. Like, the space wasn't quite enough. So I ended up getting it for a really great price from him. And as I was walking out the door with the sewing machine in my hand, I turned and said, "Was your mom's sewing machine?" He said, "Yes." I said, "What was your mom's name?" And he said his mom's name was Ava Lisa. And so my sewing machine's name is Ava, or Ava. He said it both ways. I guess it depends on where in the world you are, how you'd pronounce the spelling AVA. So that's my new sewing machine. So I think that this book is going to be for my sewing machine, the parts, the things that I notice about it, the notes that I'm making about how to do stitches, what works, what doesn't work, the date that I put oil in it. There's a sewing machine book, and then there's going to be a sewing project book with notes in it and some grid paper if I like that. So that is my traveler's notebook collection, and that is my latest rabbit hole that I have gone down, everybody. I love that there are 3 stores that I cannot go into without fear of burning a hole in my wallet. One is an art store. Paints, papers, anything art related. I cannot. It's very, very hard for me to resist all of the beautiful stationery supplies. The second store is a yarn store. I also knit. I don't know if you knew that. I've got a project that I need to finish up, and maybe I'll pull that out to my desk and share that with you at some time. Winter's coming, and it's a great time to start knitting and sewing. So a stationery store, a yarn store, and then the third one is a fabric store. I can't. It's just like I'm a kid in a candy store. All the colors, all of the fabrics are just so It's so delightful to walk through and just look at and feel and see and imagine the possibilities. None of these hobbies are inexpensive, but they sure are rewarding, and I feel deep gratitude to have the gifts to be able to use my hands and my mind to adventure forward with projects like this. And the idea of being able to sew leather, oh my gosh, you guys, a leather cover. I can make notebook covers. I will be able to make notebook covers. I just have to find a place that has leather scraps that aren't a fortune. And knowing my taste in things, it's probably not going to happen regularly. And it's down the line. It's in my mind, but it's not anything that I'm interested in getting involved with at this moment. So that's my video. This is my second filming. The first one got way too long and way too rambly. So I do ask this though, if you've made it to the end of the video, if you would be interested in me pulling my camera over by my sewing machine and doing some filming of what I have going on over there, that project. It's very different from notebooks and stationery goods, but I renamed my channel a while back from my name to my desk, from my desk, because I thought that that way I could, whatever I'm doing at my desk could be something that I would share with you. If you're interested, let me know. And if that does not sound like anything interesting to you, you can always read the headline and turn it off. I guess I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. So that's it. Thank you for watching my little traveler's notebook tour and the beautiful things that I have. I hope that this one I'll give you an update at some point. I really hope that this blue turns to this teal color. That would make me really, really, really happy. Okay. I will see you again soon. Thanks and bye.